Hi, this is Jonathan Jordan with News Up Now. Today we're going to be talking about how you can work out at home and build a really nice, strong core. A lot of us are working at home more and more these days, and our core from sitting down, being hunched over a computer, is getting really, really weak. Many of us aren't comfortable yet going back to a gym, even though that they're open. So I'm going to show you my favorite moves you can do at home with no equipment to build a really awesome, strong core foundation. All right, so the foundation of any good core program is a plank. So we're gonna start with that. A lot of the moves today start in plank. So to get a good plank, you're gonna drop to your forearms and have your toes on the ground, all right? The most important part is that your shoulder and elbow are stacked. They're on top of each other, not back like that, okay? So ideally, I'm like a plank. It's called a plank because I'm a plank, I'm a board, and I am parallel with the ground, all right? So our first move from plank is called a plank up down. I'm gonna go from a plank into the top of a push-up position, moving my right arm up, right arm down. So right arm up, right arm down. You're gonna do that for 30 seconds, all right? So you're gonna be going with the left arm up, left arm down, keeping your body stiff as a board by squeezing your glutes and squeezing your quads and bracing your core. After 30 seconds of moving with left arm up, left arm down, knees down, take a little break and move on to the next exercise. All right, for this next move, you're gonna flip over onto your back. You're gonna take your hands and you're gonna place them under your butt, just like that, to really lock that pelvis under, all right? It's like a brake, right? Then you're gonna extend your feet all the way up towards the sky. Flex your toes towards your face. Don't point them, but flex them this way, all right? So I'm starting in this 90-degree angle, all right? I'm going to slowly lower my heels towards the ground. They're not gonna touch. They're gonna stop about 3 to 6 inches before they hit the ground. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then powerfully up. Is most important for this is that the entire time I do not allow my ribs to pop up. If that happens while I'm doing the movement, I need to shorten the range of motion, so maybe stop my legs a little bit sooner there, or just tuck my pelvis under and engage my abs a little bit harder. But the name of the game is keeping your ribs down so that your back is completely flush with the floor, all right? So 30 to 60 seconds, 5 seconds on the way down, 1 second on the way up for your leg drop. Boom. The next move, I call plank rainbows. So you're gonna get back into your plank position, all right? So my feet are together, my shoulders are stacked over my elbows. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop my right hip all the way to the right, bring it back to neutral, drop my left hip all the way back to the left. So I'm making a rainbow shape out of my hips while I'm trying to keep my hips as high up as possible as I do it. The most important part, what I want you to make sure that you're not doing, is don't let that elbow come off the ground, okay? So when I go over to the left, I make sure both my elbows and forearms stay firmly affixed on the ground, all right? So I'm just gonna keep doing this right to left for 30 to 60 seconds. All right, so the next move is a side plank. You're gonna get down on one elbow. Just like your normal plank, you wanna make sure that your shoulder and your elbow are stacked. If your forearm is too far away and your elbow is not underneath your shoulder, you could cause some pain in that shoulder joint and it won't be as effective for your core, all right? So once you're in this position, you know your shoulder and elbow are stacked, you're gonna stack your feet so that your top foot is on top of the other foot, and you're gonna raise your hips as high up off the ground as possible. So this is our start. If this is hard enough for you, just hold this side plank for 30 seconds, making sure your hip is as high up off the ground as possible and that your top hip and bottom hip are in the both same place in space. Sometimes we have a tendency to rock backwards and that's not as effective, all right? So you can do whatever you like with this top hand, all right? So side plank is your start, and if you want an extra challenge, you're gonna add a dip where you slowly press and raise your hip up off the ground. All right, so whether you hold the side plank for 30 seconds or do side plank with a dip for 30 seconds, whichever works best for you. Now, a quick note, if you feel any pain in your bottom knee when you do this, take your top heel and put it like that in front of your bottom toe. You can do that same movement this way, less pressure on that bottom knee, okay? For our last move, we're gonna do a thing I call beast. You're gonna take your hands and you're gonna get in tabletop position on the floor, all right? What you wanna make sure though is that your knees are slightly in from your hips. So not over top my hips or behind my hips, but in. I tuck my toes and I make sure that my wrist and shoulder are on top of each other. I spread my hands nice and wide. I brace my core, kind of as though I'm expecting someone to punch or tickle me in the stomach. And then I'm just gonna carefully raise my knees off the ground about maybe 2 inches, so just a little bit off the ground. I'm keeping my arms straight and I'm bringing my chest towards the floor and drawing my shoulder blades back. So nice, strong beast position here. I'm tucking my pelvis, squeezing my glutes, squeezing my butt, and bracing my abs so that I'm tucking my pelvis under. This is JJ with News Up Now.